Alright, welcome back to Preaching Young. This is episode 26, and I'm telling you, we got a jam-packed episode for you today. For those that don't remember me because we've been gone for 2 weeks, my name is David Crozier. I'm the pastor here at Trinity Southern Baptist Church in Falmouth, Kentucky.
My name is Andrew Baker, worship leader and youth guy here.
And I am Brittany Fornash. I'm the administrative assistant and
Slash
youth person.
See how it goes down?
secretary. What, the energy?
Yep.
I thought we kept the energy.
My energy was right here. Andrews was a little there, and then Brittany.
That's why we're sitting in this direction.
I don't know if you've noticed, but a little bit has changed.
Change the scenery if you're not watching this.
A lot has changed. We've done a lot of good things over the last couple weeks. We've been on some trips. I've been on a couple trips.
Let's just say this. Don't think we've left you preaching youngins abandoned on purpose.
We've been working.
We've been busy.
Working behind the scenes.
And Brittany just threw the mic. We've been very busy. We've done a lot of things. We've had two trips. You've been on 2 trips.
I've been on 2 trips.
I've been on 1 trip. We're on a camping trip.
And I've been on 0 trips.
Brittany hasn't been anywhere.
They
Listen.
left me back.
At the beginning of part 2, I'll drop another announcement that we've got for this revamped podcast as well. So, but go ahead. You
Well,
wanna say
now
something
I'm
about it?
nervous because what if I say it now?
Don't say it now. You already know what it is. Don't say it.
Which one? Okay. I don't remember. I'm going to try to avoid the announcements. I'm going to leave those up to Andrew.
Don't steal my thunder.
All right? Was that good?
That's a good thing.
First, so let's talk about why we missed 2 weeks ago.
I miss being here. You know.
Me and Andrew went on a camping trip out with our good friends Mark Branham, who's been on the podcast before, behind the scenes.
He's actually never been planned to be on the podcast, but he's shown up before.
He'll probably show up today. And our good friend Dave Fornash,
Who has been on the podcast?
pastor, associate pastor of First Baptist Church of Highland Heights, and Brittany's father. You want to say anything about Mr. Dave?
He's a great dad. He's taken care of me my whole life.
We love you, Dave.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening.
It was an interesting experience.
Yeah, the camping trip was good.
I'm just happy you
It
guys
was
came back
interesting.
alive.
Brittany was. I'm telling you, the entire week leading up to this, Brittany thought we were going to die.
I did.
Let
I
me
said,
be
just
honest
come
with
back
you.
in one piece.
I did too. We drove down there in Dave's truck.
New truck.
Mark Branham brought a big speaker, and then they started playing music in the back, and we lost control at that point. And I realized that this is going to be a long camping trip. And,
Long 48 hours.
And it was. We get to the camping site. Well, first off, the guy that was supposed to be navigating wasn't a very good navigator, so we got lost a couple of times. And once we finally got to the campsite, there's this big sign right as you enter into the campsite.
On the guard shack.
Be aware. Or maybe it was beware.
I think it was just beware.
But it said, bear sighting in these woods. Like last week. The week before.
I think it was the day before.
Might have been the day
it was
before.
the day
I think
before.
I kept telling myself it was the week before, so I hope that's not true.
I think it was the day before.
Seriously.
No joke. I'm gonna be dead serious. I think it was the day before.
Okay. I probably wouldn't have went in if I thought it was the day before. Well, that's unbelievable.
You were on the passenger side of the vehicle, so the guard shack was on the driver's side, so you probably couldn't read it very well.
So I was up a little up and I was a little nervous. I was a little antsy, a little
From the
nervous. And we get there. Here's the other problem. So I could have swore that I mean, every time I've ever gone camping, we camp on the hard ground. I didn't realize that these campsites are just rocks.
Gravel. Very, very fine gravel.
They literally go, this is where we're setting up tent. I said, I can't set up the tent right here. There's nothing but rocks. Like, how am I supposed to sleep if there's nothing but rocks? These guys all had their air mattresses, and except for me and Andrew, we didn't have air mattresses when we got there. So, but we did it. We set up the tent right there on the rocks, and what's the first thing they wanted to do? Go to Walmart. So
First thing they wanted to do after we got our tent set up on a camping trip out in the wilderness.
it was
go to Walmart.
it was a weird, interesting thing. We weren't roughing it at all. Andrew bought fire starter.
I bought it at Walmart. I wasn't going to, but because we were at Walmart, I was like, I'll just make it easier for
And
us.
you bought an air mattress.
You did too.
That's what I was about to
Wait a
say.
minute.
You guys both
Wait a
end up
minute.
sleeping on air
I
mattresses?
think think this point should be made. We went to Walmart and we're getting ready to check out. We done got everything we need, which we spent way too much money, most likely. We
What
bought
does
way
Mark
too
Branham
much.
do? Goes to the cashier that's sitting there in charge of the self-checkouts. And he says, keep your eye out on those guys. What does Dave do?
Dave says it to Mark.
He goes to the same lady and says, keep your eye on that guy over there. I'm telling you, it was an interesting trip. Those
You added to your cup collection on that Walmart trip as well.
Yes, I did. Actually, got it right here. Got a new cup, only $1 for 2. Buy one, get one free.
Pretty good deal.
I thought so. I thought it was really awesome. 50 cents for a nice. We're having some.
I just broke that mic, no joke.
Mic issues.
Keep talking.
Anyway, so we got our tent, everything set up for our campsite, and here's the thing: they didn't have any games or anything, so I actually brought a lot of games. I brought Can Jam, Petanque. I brought
Sorry, can you say that last one again?
Petanque, aka some people call it. It's like bocce ball, but
I liked it. Actually, that was a pretty good game.
it's a fun game.
It was fun. I
Who
enjoyed
was
it.
like the reigning winner of the week? I mean the day.
Me.
Really? Because I heard you lost like every single game you played.
Shut up.
Even the one you brought. That
No,
time
we
you
actually,
got
me and
played.
Andrew actually won at Can Jam. We actually won. What? How many? We won 1 or 2.
We won
at
every
euchre.
we won 2 euchres, but we played out of 5, so
Yeah.
we needed to win 3.
Andrew won at the
So Andrew won.
What do they call it? What you call it again?
horse.
Oh, I did win horse.
Petanque, we completely demolished
Wait,
him
a
on-
horse
on
is an
Petanque.
individual game, so Andrew can't win for you.
Me and Andrew on team.
You can't be on teams at horse. It's
Whatever.
individual.
Here's the other thing that's the issue with the game situation. There was a bear sighting.
So you were scared.
So while Dave, Andrew, and Mark were sitting there playing the game,
Ah, that's what it
I
is.
was actually more focused on making
He
sure there
was
no bears.
distracting the bear.
So kind of protected everybody, kept us safe, got us home on time,
Listen,
in one piece.
I learned one piece of advice a long, long time ago that said if you can outrun the slowest person,
Yep.
you'll survive.
We also went
So you
So I think
both
we
should
were
have been fine.
Yeah, we were good. We did that.
the first night of our night sleeping outdoors.
You mean the only night?
Well,
You were like off for one
it
day.
was
It felt
the,
like a long night. Every
it
time
was a
we
long
woke up.
night because Mark and Dave snore like bears. And they-
Well, Andrew said you snore
You
too.
did snore, but it wasn't as loud. It wasn't as loud.
I'm sure I do, but
He did snore.
I was snoring because my nose was stopped up because it was so cold
It
outside.
was. It was very cold. My nose got stuffed up as well. But I'm telling you, I woke up 2-3 times in the middle of the night because I thought a bear was outside of our tent. It was just Dave and Mark.
Because they were literally using the restroom outside the tent.
We're talking.
Our campsite was right next to the facilities. Like we actually were right next to the actual.
Across the street.
And
All you
they
had to do was
went
walk
outside.
We
across.
said walk 5 feet, and you're right there by the nice bathrooms. They weren't nice. They were
They actually
disgusting.
never stepped. They actually never.
None of you guys showered, right? Because that would be a waste.
Yeah, they did. Mark did.
Mark did.
Why?
He showered right before we went to the river, to the
Yeah.
boat. So
Right
that-
before we
What?
went
You're
and swam on
getting
the lake.
the lake.
I know.
To the.
Yeah. So the next day we went on a pontoon
I
boat. We
think
got
me
a
and you roughed
pontoon
it more
boat.
than they did.
I know we did. That's what I'm saying. We really did. Actually, I was real proud of us.
Well, my dad is not a manly man. So.
You brought a griddle.
He's not.
You ever heard of one of those?
Yeah, we used to do that when we went pop-up camping. We had a pop-up, so he's not used to like sleeping on the ground.
I
He
know
had
he
an
isn't.
actual bed.
Yeah, no, he isn't. I can tell. We were roughing it, so it was nice. We're on a pontoon boat. Got to see some bald eagles that were
I'm
nesting.
telling you, that was cool. It was a cool experience. See,
I
bald
tried
eagle.
to take a video of it and sent it to Brittany. Brittany had no idea what it
When's
was.
the last time you ever saw a bald eagle?
That was a very American sighting. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it was.
There's actually said there was 8 of them. Come to find out, if you entered the little cove that they're nesting in,
Mhm.
$10,000 instant fine.
And listen,
Could you imagine?
so I'm on the pontoon boat and I'm thinking I got a long trip ahead, so I'm just gonna read a book while everybody, does whatever they want on the pontoon boat. I thought we were just having a good time on the pontoon boat, and so I was gonna listen to music, read a book. All of a sudden they go, "Oh no, you gotta get in the water." And I didn't even have clothes. I didn't even bring clothes to get in the water. But guess who was the first one in the water?
You.
Wait, you knew
No,
you
Mark
guys
was
were
in the
going
water first,
boating,
I
so
thought.
why didn't you?
I jumped in.
Why didn't you take clothes to go boating?
Because I wasn't going to go in it.
Why weren't you going to go in it?
He had a plan all
I was just gonna sit down there and read a book and listen to music and have a good time.
To be
So,
fair,
so
the
what
lady.
you're saying is you're not a manly man either.
I was the first one in the water.
But you wanted to read a book.
I was going.
Someone push a man.
It was a manly book,
Let's be honest.
right?
Did someone push
It was an
a man?
outdoors book.
Yeah, it was. It was actually about how to have how to make your church a gospel conversation church.
Oh, interesting.
But I couldn't read it, so
Oh,
I don't know how to do that. I guess.
The weather was real nice. It was a little on the brisk side, but it was good.
Did somebody push me in?
No, you jumped. He actually went on the slide first. Everybody entered on first entry into the lake was on the slide.
Did you guys go down the slide a lot?
No, I did it
I think
once.
I think
and was
everybody did
done.
it once. I don't know if everybody did it twice.
Actually,
Well, what
you
a
did it twice.
waste.
You did it twice.
I think I did it twice.
You did it twice because somebody got a picture of you the second time.
Yeah, that's right. Dave.
Well, anyway, so it was fun. It was nice to get out of
The
out.
slide was worth it. If you're gonna rent a pontoon boat, you gotta have a slide. Pontoon boat. You gotta have a slide. I'm telling you. Double
I
decker.
don't want to say that word. I'll try to edit that out. But anyway, so we are. So after that, this last week, me and my wife went to Virginia Beach on a little mini vacation. We left the kids at home, and we went on a little trip. Just me and her for our anniversary. Our anniversary was Tuesday. 8 years and going
Happy
strong.
anniversary.
And so that was a lot of fun to an extent. Here's the reality. It was fun to be those. Listen, me and my wife had fun.
Don't throw Becky under the bus while she's not
We
here.
had fun. It wasn't an issue with us. The problem was it rained every day. It was gloomy. There was only sun on Saturday. There was tons of homeless people, panhandlers.
It's hard to enjoy vacation.
Oh my gosh! You walk out of the hotel and you just get bombarded by people asking you for 49 cents.
Really?
And every single one of them said 49 cents. None of them said $1 or $5.
50 cents.
And I'm sitting there going, if you really need money, tell me how much you need. You need $100 bucks? I'll give you 100. But don't tell me you need 49 cents, because then you're just going to ask the next guy for 49 cents. Ask for what you need. Say you need 500 bucks. Then I can be like, all right, I don't have 500, but I can give you 100.
Yeah.
I feel like I need to talk to some of these panhandlers and tell them how to do it the correct way. They could really be more successful if they just listened to me, but nobody did. And so I was really getting frustrated with that. The beach itself wasn't very packed, but if you've ever been to Virginia Beach, it's just a long boardwalk. The boardwalk itself was pretty packed. People were just walking. Bikes, they had the bike path and they had the boardwalk. So nobody was allowed to walk on this little bike path. It was a really nice bike path. But for whatever reason, there was no bikes on the bike path. All the bikes and all the skateboarders and all the runners, the cool runners, all of them were on the boardwalk. So here I am just trying to walk at my own pace, and I get little bicycles, trying to hit me coming out of there, or little punks on skateboards. I mean, I really felt like an old man. I'm like, I feel like I'm officially an old person, grumpy old person, where I'm just trying to walk on the daggone boardwalk, and I got skateboards and bicycles and cool runners that were like, oh, coming to your left of you, I'm running. I'm like, get out of here. You're on a beach on vacation. Why are you running?
Some of them probably actually live there.
So anyway, it was a very interesting trip, but I got some new shoes out of it, so I'm excited.
You wearing them right now?
No,
Oh, that was the white Converse.
white
right?
Converse.
Huh. Interesting. Bring back the Converse. That'd be fun.
So, I don't know. So there was that.
Well,
it was a good trip.
It's hard to enjoy a good trip when you got bad weather.
Well, and especially at the beach, because when you go to the beach, you expect to be able to get in the water. So.
Especially at the end of September. So
That's
Yeah.
true. It's supposed to be warm.
just kidding.
It's really cold here too. I walked outside this morning and I was like,
Do not complain.
freezing.
Here's the
I
thing.
love this weather. I will
This
take
weather
all
is how
year.
it's going to feel like in heaven.
Perfect.
Perfection.
Amen.
And
Say that again for the people in the back.
I saw-
Like it's hot. And on the beach.
Well, there's one place that I know
There's a
that's
place
gonna
for
be
you.
hot. And it ain't gonna be up in heaven. And I literally got people, oh, I just can't stand people that like this season. I'm like, listen,
Wait,
if you don't
wait,
like
wait.
this
No,
season,
I
that's
love
what they
this
sound like.
season,
This
but-
season is the greatest season in the entire
I
world.
love it.
It's
It is
better
so
than spring,
cold.
it's summer and winter. This is the greatest season in the world. And if people don't like it, then there's something wrong with you.
Amen.
No, I seriously think that it was like 39 degrees this morning.
That's okay.
That was pretty
It's
cold.
not- It wasn't 39 degrees. I believe it was a low of 45 with a high of 70.
Well,
All that
I'm telling
matters
you
is
it
what's
was
the weather
cold.
right now.
Amen.
See?
Why are you even out so early?
Come on.
Well, today was actually,
Live a little.
right now, when I just went outside, it was really nice. I'll give you that.
Anyway, so
I could do this weather 365 days a year.
me too. I feel like in heaven
Move
it is. In
to
heaven it is. 24/7.
well, Seattle rains.
Now, yeah, get out of here. Listen, I had a fill-in this Sunday as I was absent. Here's the thing. This is my first Sunday morning I've missed
In a year and a half.
since I've been here.
Has it been a year or a year and a half?
It's more than
Year
a
and
year and
8
a half.
months, not 10 months, a year and 10 months. Almost 2 years.
Thanks,
dang.
Brittany. Thanks for that math.
I'm not good at math, so that was
I mean,
pretty good.
that was real good.
You're the bit.
I'm telling you. I can't believe you
Horrible.
did
My
that.
first normally if I have fill-ins, I'm usually here to cheer them on. So this is my first
Or
Sunday.
lead worship.
Yeah, so this is my first Sunday where I was not here at all. I had no idea what was happening. I was having heart complications.
Huh?
What?
You were on vacation.
I was having heart complications.
On vacation?
On vacation while I'm trying to watch because I don't know what's happening at my church.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
That made it sound like you were having a heart attack.
No, I was literally freaking out because I'm like, I'm not there. I don't know what's happening.
You didn't trust us?
Did Andrew take the signs out? Did Andrew put the parking lot signs out?
Yep.
I did all that.
Cool, bro. I trust you.
I did all the signs. I turned on all the sound by myself.
Good.
I did it all. Why should I do that anyway? But
How was it? How was
it was
it?
good. Service went really well.
Brittany?
It did. It
British
went well.
perspective.
It went very well.
Because here's the thing, we've been absent from our main piano player.
Yes, it was a
She was
total
on
because
vacation.
Andrew's usually our worship leader,
Yep.
so Andrew wasn't leading worship, Dee wasn't on piano, and I was just like, whoa, and Abram wasn't here, so it was like,
It was a
Wow, it's
completely
such a
different.
different
It was a
service.
different atmosphere.
but I
for
will
sure.
say, it still went well, and it was still a great service, it really
We added
was.
a new member and everything.
Yeah,
so
yeah, so
we're
it was a
well.
really good service.
And so this Sunday we're back. And here's the thing that's awesome about it because I almost feel like, maybe it's just because I had the week off, but I mean, I almost feel like as a church we got over a hump or something where we're ready to rock and roll.
Well, I think we did. I think we did because our youth on the move has been like from the start of when we started opening back up,
Mhm.
for sure, like 100%, like just open back up. Our youth was good, right? But I feel like now we're starting to get a good core group
Yeah.
and a consistent group, and our what do you call them? Our events that we're doing are seeing a lot of positive feedback.
Yeah.
And then same with the kids on the move. The kids on the move are killing it.
Kids on the Move are doing really well. They got a lot of stuff planned.
Yeah.
Every week we're hearing very positive
Very good
things
things.
coming out of that. They're doing a fall party, I believe, on the 21st. They got a lot of cool stuff coming up, and I'm excited for them. I'm tickled to death about it because nobody else is doing anything with kids right now.
Yeah.
Nobody else is doing anything with youth. Barely people are doing stuff with youth. Even that, they're trying to keep them social distance, which is stupid. So it's nice to see, man. It's nice to see that in the midst of this stupid, chaotic time, that
I would argue to say we had one of our best events of the year.
what did y'all
This
do?
past Wednesday.
What did y'all do?
We
Youth
had Youth Wars,
Wars.
which was Brittany's idea. I
Oh.
won't take credit
Is
for
that
it.
really
Of course.
is that really the right wording for a time like this? War? We don't want to be at war.
That's what we called it.
It was some friendly.
Anyway, it was just a little friendly competition. We divided them up in teams, played a variety of games. I made an obstacle course, which went over very well.
I'm shocked
Yes.
about that.
This obstacle
It
course
was hilarious.
awesome. Okay,
We had to make the kids spin around. I'm stealing your thunder right now.
we got a
Spin
walk through
around
course now.
with their head on a bat, and they just went a circle, and then they had to go around 15 times, and they had to run around these cones.
It
And
was
I mean,
hilarious.
it was
These
hilarious.
kids were like dropping like flies, just falling.
Y'all should have videoed it.
I took pictures, a lot of
We
pictures.
did. It
Some
was
of them you can
hilarious.
see in the picture, they're like falling over. It's awesome. It was the greatest
And
thing
then
ever.
I did it, and I was like, wow, this is not a joke. You actually fall over.
Thank
Like,
you.
I thought they were just
I'm a
being
mastermind.
Why'd you not video that? Brittany.
Oh, that would have been funny. I didn't
It would have
think
been
about
great.
it.
It'd been perfect for our podcast.
Dang it, we could have added
All
it
I
in
have
the
to say is
podcast.
I was the fastest person to go through that.
Yeah, I'm sure you were.
Were you?
Yeah.
It actually,
Didn't brag.
this obstacle course lasted a long time. So they were in teams, and the object of the first team to decide the winner, we played stuck ladder ball at the very end.
I don't know what that ball
So
is.
it's the little hillbilly golf where you the little
Yep.
three prongs.
We call it
you throw.
hillbilly golf.
Hillbilly golf, same thing.
I never heard of that the other name.
Ladder ball, hillbilly golf, same thing. Anyway, the first team, so you got one, every time the person made it through the course and came back, they had to throw a ball.
Which
and
my
if they got it
team
on the
failed
thing, the
at.
first person to get, the first team to get all three won. So it was actually a long time because I didn't realize how many people had never played ladder ball before. Hillbilly golf. It was fun, it was very successful. But the rest of the games that night were really good too. We had a really good turnout,
Yeah,
I'm excited.
it was fun.
so it was
And
good.
here's the thing. Those kids need it.
Mm-hmm.
They're stressed, they're anxious, they're worried about life. You know, the election was the debate, excuse me. The debate was this Tuesday. I sound like Joe Biden. The debate was this Tuesday, and
Come on, man.
Yeah, come on, man. The debate was this Tuesday, so I mean, people are everybody's just tensed up, man. I posted this morning on my Facebook.
I
but
shared it. Good post.
But I said, look, God already knows how all this is going to turn out. He knows how this election is going to turn out, the pandemic, the political division, the race wars. He knows how it all is going to turn out. And guess what? We actually do too.
God wins.
Yeah, man. Victory, brother.
Victory.
We win. If we have a relationship with Jesus Christ. So I'm not worried about
Buckle
it.
your seatbelts.
I'm not worried about it. And so here's the thing. I don't know how to get, sometimes I don't know how to get other people to realize that. Like, seriously, you put your faith in Jesus Christ. Bad times, good times, it's all cool. It's all good, man. It's all going to work out for the better. So I'm not worried about it. I know that these kids are a little stressed about it, but this is a great opportunity for us as a church to say, we're not stressed about it.
Yeah.
Right? And we're going to show you that we're not stressed about it.
Right.
We're going to have a good time. We're not going to sit there and say, okay, guys, we need to discuss this election, this debate that happened.
How do we do this? And that's the thing. Me and Bernie could very easily sit down with our youth on Wednesdays and have a strict, we could just sit there and just hound into them about what to do, what not to do,
Who to
what's
vote
good, who to
for.
vote for, who not to vote for. We could
No.
do that, right? Even though they can't vote.
That's
But
what doesn't matter.
it's not the point, right? These kids are going to remember the relationships that they're building with other believers that they're surrounded by,
Yeah.
and they're going to remember the times that they had here at church, and hopefully they'll come back to it if they.
And this is
Right.
this is the problem that we're running into because politics in church. We've talked about this, I believe it was episode real early, episode 3, where we talked about our stance on politics in church. We try to avoid politics in church. There's no point in having it in church. There's nothing going on. It affects us anyway. I mean, I care less who you're going to vote for. I don't care who you are going to vote for. Vote for whoever you want. Vote for Barney.
You can write that in. You can write that in.
Kanye.
I don't
Kanye's on our
care.
ballot.
Vote for Kanye West. I don't care who you vote for. The problem that we're running into as a church is I preach the Bible. Whether people like that or not, I'm going to preach the Bible. Now, here's where the issue comes in. Sometimes the Bible talks about issues that are also being talked about in the political realm. For example, abortion, homosexuality. Give me another one. I don't know. Those are the two biggest ones that people are up in arms with all the time.
Yeah, I think that's just the two biggest political.
Here's the thing.
arguments.
Biblically, I'm going to talk about those issues. I'm going to talk about those issues biblically, right? These are biblical things that we have to discuss inside the church. When some people hear that, they go, "You're talking politics." But I go, no. I'm not talking politics, right? Abortion is not a political issue. It's a biblical issue, and we're going to discuss those biblical issues. The same with, I'm going to talk about abortion the same that I talk about, and I'm going to talk about homosexuality. I'm going to talk about those issues the same length, the same way, the same amount that I talk about
Having faith.
divorce.
What does that
I'm talking about other sins.
Oh, okay.
Being the sinfulness of divorce, where you've made a commitment before God and your peers in the church, where you said you're going to give your life to this person while you're on this earth, and then when you divorce, how you're breaking that covenant with God and that spouse. I want to talk about the sin of coveting over your neighbor. I'm going to talk about the sin of adultery. I'm going to be talking about all these things just as much as I'm talking about abortion and homosexuality. The problem is divorce and all those things. Those are not political issues because people do it all the time. It's just a cultural thing that people are fine with. But we have made abortion and homosexuality such a political thing that when I bring those things up, they're like, oh, well, you must think this way or that way, or you're on the political realm. No, Black Lives Matter is another one.
Yeah.
I talk about Black Lives Matter from a biblical perspective, and people go, "Well, you're picking a political side." I'm not picking a political side. I'm saying as a biracial person, right? Here's the issues with Black Lives Matter, right? The organization. Of course, your life matters if you're black. If you don't understand that, then you have your own problems. But I'm talking about the organization and how sinful and how racist and how anti-religious and how anti-freedom that organization is. And so this is the biggest problem I'm running into right now. And I was looking online today because President Trump and Melania, First Lady Melania Trump, these guys they found out last night that they have both tested positive for the COVID-19. Right?
Virus.
See, now I'm going to get emails about politics. You send that email, preachingout@gmail.com, and you direct it to Andrew.
Direct it to me. I'm sorry. I had to say this.
So they get diagnosed with COVID. Okay, now here's the thing. Everybody's been telling me this is a serious disease, that we need to be taking it serious, that we need to close everything down and wear a mask and sit 6 feet apart. Me and Andy already haven't been sitting 6 feet apart in this podcast since we started. We started during the pandemic. So I don't know. You tell me. But regardless, we'll get into that in our second half about this COVID situation. But people, I was looking at, there's a guy named Bishop T.D. Jakes. You ever heard of Bishop T.D. Jakes?
Good guy. Follow him on the Instagram.
That's where I was on. I saw a post he put on Instagram about how he said, let's lift up our president and first lady who have been diagnosed with this scary, dangerous disease, plague, whatever you want to call it, pandemic. And we need to pray for them. And he even said, this is not a political issue, right? We need to love one another. We need to show love towards people. We shouldn't be wishing harm on people. And he said, I want to make sure that we're lifting up the leader of our country. And he said, that's what he said. I think we should lift up the leader of I don't know how to even word it. I'm going to try to find it because I want you to see this.
Did he tweet it?
But I think it's funny that you're talking about this because you said love your neighbor. And everybody was always saying through this whole pandemic to wear a mask. That's how you show that you love your neighbor. But the people that were saying that, when I got on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, everything today after hearing that the President of the United States
Get ahead of
and
me, Brittany. Go ahead.
Melania Trump
Yep.
got diagnosed with COVID, the ones that I know who say they're Christians, who have used that
You're getting way ahead
love
of me,
your
Brittany.
love
Good
your neighbor,
Yep.
they
Yep.
were the ones that were like, well, that's what he gets.
Listen,
He didn't wear
okay.
a mask.
Wow, Brittany.
I'm not praying for him.
Listen.
Like what?
Wow, you stole my thunder. I'm going to take that
I
back.
apologize.
He said this, we must be more humane toward one another. Compassion has nothing to do with politics. It has everything to do with being a Christian and a human being. While we're on our knees, take this opportunity to pray for the millions suffering from this pandemic. Now, this is the comments. You're exactly right. With all due respect, Donald Trump was the one who turned this into a political issue. You lost me on this one, Bishop. I'm not praying for him. Let God do his will. Right? There are still children locked in cages. We're supposed to have sympathy for this man?
My goodness.
Like these are over and over and over. You know, I think he's lying. I love you, Bishop, but let's slow down. Blessings come in different shapes and sizes. He didn't show up. He didn't show no compassion for those kids locked up, taken from their mamas. I mean, it's insane. It is insane. With all due respect, most esteemed sir, which is weird that you would call him most esteemed. I barely call him Bishop.
Yeah.
But he says, I believe you're part of the problem for wanting to pray for Trump. Hashtag Biden for president. I don't understand this, man. I don't understand this. You can do this over and over and over and over again about all these just hateful comments about Trump. Here's the thing. I don't care if he's your enemy. Most of y'all don't even know the guy.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're his enemy, disagree with him. You don't get to sit there and call yourself a Christian and say that you've been forgiven and say that you have grace that you have received from God, and then sit there and not show that same grace and forgiveness to somebody, even if it's the most vile person in the world.
Because if it's truly in you, you can't help but let it flow out of you.
And I wish I had the names on me, but it's a foreign name, it's a German name. But there was a guy who was in the Holocaust. He survived the Holocaust. He was beaten severely by a soldier, a German soldier, a Nazi. And when he got out, he ended up becoming a pastor, ended up going back to these camps, these camps to preach to these people. There was a lot of these detained soldiers, Nazis. And he found the guy that used to beat him up. And he said, before I found Christ, if I was here and saw you, I'd want to kill you right now. But he says, because of what Christ has done for me, I can sit here and I can say that I have forgiven you. And if he can do that to a man that beat him up and killed his family and all that stuff, then why in the world can't we do that to our President of the United States? And I'm not talking about politics. And here's the thing, I have to wrap it up because we got some sponsors and cool stuff like that. But I want to wrap it up, but here's the thing. When we come back, I want to talk about politics and church. Because, actually I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Here's the thing. I don't care who you vote for. Your salvation is not based on who you vote for or who you're registered to vote for. But there are consequences to who you vote for, and I'm going to preach the Bible. And if your party, right, doesn't line up with the Bible, that's on you.
Yep.
I'm just going to preach the Bible. If you get upset about it and think it's a political issue, that's your own problem.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Listen, we have a fresh, new
Big announcement.
sponsor. So enjoy the sponsor, and then we'll see you when you get back.
All right. We're back with episode 26.
What'd you think of that sponsor? Real good, huh? Voice sounds very familiar.
Did sound very familiar.
Sounded kind of like you.
Well, I don't know who it was.
So that's one of our first announcements. We finally got a little bit of a sponsor, and that's exciting. Really exciting. I know Andrew's worked real hard to get that sponsor, so appreciate you.
Thanks. Listen, also,
Wait. Before we go, wait. So listen. Right before we came on, Brittany sees Andrew's ear, and how long have you been dating? 5 years?
6.
6 years. They've been dating for 6 years. Brittany goes, "Wow, Andrew, you have small ears."
Thanks. As if she just noticed. For the 6 years we've been together, she just noticed my ears.
They are really
they are kind of
tiny.
small.
Sure.
Like
Pick on
baby
it. Let's just name this next
When
minute,
you
first minute
when
of
you
part
when you
2.
look at your ears compared to your
Your head,
it
got
is
a
very
big
small.
noggin.
Your ears are small too.
No, they're not.
How do you know?
Abram,
Compared to her head,
Yeah,
it's
very small.
No, it's an average ear.
What about mine?
thank you.
Yours is small compared to your head. I just said
You
this.
got tiny ears.
I
That's
didn't
why.
say.
That's why you can never hear me when I'm talking to you.
No, it's selective hearing.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh wow. All right. So anyway, that's weird. You gotta get that looked at.
All
All
right.
right.
What do you get my ears enlarged? What am I supposed to do?
I don't know if it's normal. They're not growing at the correct pace. It's not it's like sometimes that happens, dude. Sometimes that happens. Go ahead.
Sorry, I got a ear problem. So, anyway, what I was gonna say before this ear shenanigans started. Listen, if you are listening to the audio version and you're on Apple Podcast, thank you, because we're on Apple Podcast now.
Woo!
Boo, 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 boo. That's
That
our big
means
announcement.
that was
That
it. We are
a
on
terrible
high.
setup.
We
That was a
made it
terrible
to
setup.
Apple.
But we made it to Apple, okay?
We've made it to Apple.
I don't think you guys know this,
This
but
is a big
Apple
deal.
is huge.
Technically,
iTunes, technically iTunes.
iTunes. Yes.
Technically iTunes, but they call it Apple Podcast.
Apple Podcast. We're finally on Apple Podcast.
But listen, that's
So,
a big deal. It was
look us
hard
up.
to get.
Submit reviews.
Make sure. Here's what you gotta do. Don't
Yes.
listen to Abram.
All right.
If you listen to our at the very end of our podcast, we have an outro. I don't know if you listen to it or not, but
I do.
in the outro, listen, there is a you gotta if you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, you may have to make sure you rate us 5 stars. It'd be 4 stars.
Or, no, I mean, if they want to rate us bad, they can rate it. Be honest. They can
Yeah.
be honest.
But if it's 5 stars, they'll do some distributing of our podcast for us.
Because here's the thing, everybody's like, oh gosh, don't vote in the Supreme Court justice yet. And there's others like, no, do it real quick. But here's the thing, I don't care. Whoever wins the election can do it, because whatever party you're for should be very confident that your party's going to win.
Yep.
And I'm very confident that our followers, preaching youngins, are going to vote 5 stars.
So make sure on
So
Apple
do whatever
Podcasts.
you want, but I know you'll get there.
Apple Podcast.
On Apple Podcasts.
Thank you. Thanks for
Rate,
listening.
review,
Yeah.
and listen, if you screen grab it and send us a picture, we'll shout you out next week.
On next week's episode,
Yeah.
We'll give you a shout out.
send to our email preachingyoung@gmail.com.
And we may even give you a free shirt. I don't know that. We gotta work on that.
I hope nobody asks for a free shirt, because we get some homework.
All right, so
What were we talking about?
well,
Part
that's
two.
exciting. We got sponsors. We're on Apple Podcasts now.
Change of
so that
scenery.
means we're on YouTube, Spotify, Anchor FM, and now Apple.
Just about everywhere you can get a
4
podcast.
platforms.
No, I think we're on more. We're actually on more than that, but just about everywhere you can get a podcast now. Because Apple was the main Apple was the missing key.
Apple will throw us wherever they
Yeah.
need to get us. So we're excited about that. We're continuing to grow as a podcast,
Keep listening.
and
Tell someone about the podcast.
yeah, or don't.
Or if you don't like it, then don't.
We don't like negative emails, so
Consider
Yeah, I
us to
get
Brittany's
plenty of
personal
them.
email.
I get plenty of them. Preachingyoung@gmail.com.
so October is a big month for us as a church.
Big month.
This Sunday we have our new series.
Huge.
We're launching Operation Christmas Child. We have 2 baptisms this Sunday. October 11th we have a baptism that Sunday, so that's going to put us at 15 baptisms for the year. We're going to have
Which is big.
which is big. It is big, especially with COVID happening. It seems like
Nobody's doing
baptisms
baptisms.
are really low
Yeah,
right
people
now.
don't want to get close, so yeah.
Our church is the, well, I'll get in that afterwards. October 11th, we're bringing the Jason Lumm's band. My brother's the drummer for this. Did y'all know that?
I think we've covered that before in this show.
So I'm excited. Jason Lumm's band is coming to Trinity, and we're teaming up with my dad's church. My dad's church is down the street, and they're going to be joining us for our morning worship that morning at 10:30, and then they're going to be doing a full concert that night at 6:30. And if you have never heard of the Jason Lumm's band, YouTube them. You will not be disappointed.
They're on, I think they're on iTunes.
My favorite song, Jason Lumm's band, is a song called Sovereign Lord. And they actually have a music video for this. It's actually pretty legit. And I love that song. I don't know if they play it as much as I think they should. I like this song so much that I actually think it should be on the radio, but who am I?
It's a good song. It's the one you've been using for all the promo videos.
Yeah,
right?
it's my favorite song. So
It's good. It's a good song.
Oh, I didn't know it had a song. I haven't been like listening to it. I should probably do that.
There you go, guys.
Please
Our
turn
own
on the
administrative
volume.
assistant.
Please turn on the volume whenever you listen. I do a lot of editing, and so when I make these videos, we have a lot of nuggets, is what we call them in the show business.
Yeah, they're hilarious actually.
They are really. If you just take the time to watch a full length Trinity
Don't listen to
video.
Brittany though. She ain't listening to
No,
it.
Abram.
Yeah, I
obviously
listened to the
he
one
doesn't
of your
watch
video where you had like a random like, I don't know, I guess a guy like yelled in it and I was like, whoa, I was not expecting that.
They're funny.
It was
They're
just
really funny.
hilarious.
I'm telling you. And the amount of time, I'm assuming that takes a hard time to find.
It takes a lot longer than people would probably realize.
Obviously, Brittany.
But I would really appreciate if you A, watch the whole video, and B, turn this volume up. It would be gravy. But so anyway, so that's gonna be on October 11th. Then we're having a food truck here. It's called the Slice is Right, which is a really catchy name. Slice is Right Pizzeria Food Truck is going to be here on the 18th, and they're going to be serving us
Food
lunch
truck
for
Sunday.
us, and we're going to be having pies. Now the pie thing, I'm still not 100% sold on. This was Andrew and Brittany's idea.
Here's
Pie
why.
on
Here's
pizza
why.
and
Here's why.
pies.
It's called pizza pie.
I know, but like in the summer, people make a lot of different pies: apple pie, cherry pie.
You can still make those. It's
But
fall.
in the fall, it's like pumpkin pie.
No, it's pumpkin, chocolate, pecans. I mean, any type of pie. You can have apples.
Listen,
I know, but I just feel like the amount of people that are going to do something different is going to be very rare because they're like, hey, I can. Like, even my wife was like, oh, I can make pumpkin pie. But I'm like,
Yeah, well, that's cool because
everybody's going to be
judging.
making. I'm pretty sure everybody's going to be making a pumpkin
Yeah,
pie.
Still gotta
but
judge people's pumpkin pie.
tastes differently.
Well, then you should either done
I'm
that.
doing chocolate. Chocolate.
Well,
we probably didn't, you pretty
nobody
much-
likes chocolate, so
Hold on,
that's
wait a minute. You probably didn't think this through because we have to have judges.
Oh
No,
yeah,
no,
the
we
people
all
are
judge.
gonna be the judges. You'll
How?
have a piece of
How?
paper.
Each pie is numbered.
How?
And after you eat, you go, I like.
We have to cut it.
this pie.
We have to cut it in little slivers.
Yes.
Think it'll be enough pie.
Yes.
Yeah, you just make like pie bars. Maybe we did.
You gotta cut it into slivers, but then you gotta recut that pie again like 2 or 3 times. That
You gotta
slice.
have judges.
You gotta have judges because there ain't gonna be enough pie.
Yeah.
All right.
See, this Preaching Young podcast benefits us in many ways.
I feel
We
like teenagers. I feel like teenagers should
Yes.
be judges.
We should have a variety. Old, young.
That's true.
Why don't we just
Middle
say whose pie gets gone the first?
No. Because then the person would go throw their pie in the garbage and it'd be gone.
Oh,
They win.
they have to be eaten first.
All right.
This is how our minds work.
We really-
if you
I'm
wonder.
sorry.
This is why I don't like them to give me the idea. I like to be the one to cast the visions.
Are you kidding me?
Because when they start to do this,
This was Brittany's idea.
this
It really was. I just thought I'd help her out. Kind of take the.
I just thought it was kind of catchy. Pizza and pies.
Well, it's
It
kind of funny
is,
because they
it's
call it, what else do
perfect.
they call pizza?
Pies.
You call it a pie. Genius, right? I really like this food truck though because if you Facebook this the Slices Right, their emblem logo whatever you call it is identical to the Prices Right, so it's kind of cool.
And they are.
It's cool. It looks cool.
I know.
But I know they didn't just call it
Play on
that. But
words.
like it is. It's point word. Slices Right.
Yeah.
Prices Right. Get it?
And they're local. They're local guys.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate
And
that.
pieces of pizza
doesn't
are
like-
bigger than my head.
And they're only $4 a slice.
Yeah,
So I'm
not
pretty
bad
pumped
at all.
about it. So we're doing that on the 18th, and then on the 25th we're doing Speak Up Sunday, which we're teaming up with Vision Trust, and they're going to be sending us 9 international kids that we can sponsor as a church, and so we're going to start doing that. Hopefully we'll get some families to sponsor them, and then for every kid that gets sponsored, we're going to sponsor somebody locally here in our community. And so I'm excited about that. And then on November 1st is my birthday.
Of course it is.
And this is the first year that it's on. This is the first year that it has been on a Sunday in probably the last 7 years.
My birthday was on Sunday this year too.
So I am thrilled. Okay, I'm expecting a lot of fun things, and I'm already telling myself, be surprised when they come up with cake. Like act like you didn't know they were going to have cake for you. So I'm excited.
Does that mean you called somebody and had a cake scheduled?
He
You'll
did
see.
do that. The first time me and Andrew met Abram was at youth,
Man.
and he literally brought himself a cake with like a
Personalized.
1,000. Yeah, it was 1,000 sprinkles. Happy birthday, Abram! And we all were like, "Wow, he's like 30. Why is he getting so excited?"
You did not think that. You did not think, oh, he's 30. You guys loved it. Y'all thought this was the coolest thing in the world. Be honest.
I mean, I do like
You don't remember the
cake.
sprinkle cake? It was sprinkled. It was sprinkled everywhere. It was awesome.
I don't remember
It was
it.
professionally done, like,
Yeah,
it cost me
picture?
like $300.
Yeah, it
Got a
was
picture?
$300.
It was a professional cake, I said. It cost me $300. I don't remember, but it was a lot. I do have a picture somewhere, I'm sure.
How old you turning this year?
I'm 32. Yep, 32. I'm getting up there. I'm excited.
You're very
So, November
You
1st is
were
my birthday.
45.
No.
Oh my goodness.
Wow, we haven't known him as long as I thought we did. I thought you were old.
Anyway,
Just call me young.
but it doesn't matter what age I am. We've known each other the
Same
same amount of
time,
years.
just
So it
change.
doesn't matter if I was
I'm telling you.
33 or 35. It doesn't matter. But anyway, I'm excited about my birthday because not only are we going to be celebrating my birthday, but we're also going, which I don't celebrate birthdays at church. Just FYI, as a rule of thumb, as a pastor, I do not celebrate birthdays for a couple reasons. One, I know for a fact that I will forget somebody's birthday. So if I start celebrating somebody's birthday or saying happy, I really try to refrain from even telling people happy birthday, because if I start telling people happy birthday, or we celebrate it, or we make a big deal about somebody's birthday, then the next Sunday when I forget someone's birthday, they go, well, you forgot about my birthday, and they get upset and they leave. So I don't even talk about birthdays anymore, as just a big rule of thumb. So if you're out there, it's a good leadership tip. Just don't even talk about birthdays. But I'm excited for my birthday, and also on November 1st, we're starting a brand new series called Throwback.
Clever.
Whoop whoop.
Thank you. Where we're going to be encouraging you to use your past to shape your future. Because people, we don't realize, a lot of us, we stay in our past, and we can't get out of our past. And people like to label us for our past. But as Christians, man, when we receive Jesus Christ, we're somebody new. So that old past, right? It's not us anymore, but we can use that thing as a testimony to help other people that are going through similar stuff. And anyway, I'm excited about it. And so what we're doing on November 1st is we're doing Throwback Sunday, which means you have to wear throwback outfits.
Whatever that means. Whatever that looks like for you.
It's tougher for these young kids because they're like, well, I don't know what throwback is.
We're gonna wear stuff from your generation or the generation before you.
That's all
It's
it
gonna
is.
piss you. It's gonna be hilarious. It's gonna be a real good
Well,
time.
and I've already okay. So I've already addressed this with people because I was talking this on my Wednesday night adult Bible study class. I was telling everybody, I was saying, look, you wear your throwback outfit, and I was like,
Don't be offended
I was
when we wear
giving,
you.
well, listen, I was giving examples of what throwback was, 90s, 80s, and they're like, oh,
I was
really?
born in the 90s.
You barely made it to the 90s.
Okay.
I still was in there.
Want a cookie?
Barely.
So I said, so anyway, so I'm
Were you
like,
born 70s?
so I said,
He was. No, it was 80s.
you guys are really bad at math.
I am bad at math.
I didn't
Brittany's
say
a
nothing.
college graduate.
I didn't say nothing.
I didn't go to college for math.
He's turning 32 this year, Brittany.
I know. I thought.
Go ahead, do the
Never
math.
mind. 12. So you were born in 76.
12. Where'd you get
86.
12 from?
86.
No, not even close.
When were you born in? What year?
1988.
Oh, dang it.
He's born in the 80s.
8 plus 4.
Yeah, I'm an
is
80s
12.
kid.
Throwback for you would be like 60s.
But here's the thing,
70s.
it's not throwback, it's just throwback in general. Like, you can wear bell bottoms, or, polyester. You know what I'm saying? What's the suit that guy wears on Christmas Vacation?
Oh, the orange.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Like orange and blue suits that they used to wear back in the day.
You're talking about Dumb and Dumber, but yes.
Yes, I am.
But it,
That's
College
exactly what
graduate,
was in my
4-year
head,
degree.
actually.
She was very confident in
have you
that.
ever seen Christmas Vacation?
Oh, the Lampoon.
National.
Andrew always wants me to watch it, but I think it's stupid.
Okay, wow, okay, it is, but the Christmas Vacation is really good. You
Brittany
should
doesn't
watch
like dumb humor. She doesn't like that kind of humor.
it. But I feel like it'd be right up her alley.
Oh, thanks, Abram.
My point is this, but my point is this. We have something every week. and I was telling people this on Wednesday. There is not, we make it very easy for people to invite people to church, right? Come to church to see baptisms, come to church for this new series, come to church for this event, that event, come to church for this food truck. Like, come to church just to have fun, come to church to have a relationship with Jesus Christ, come to church to make some friends.
It's almost set up that every week that goes by, you can invite someone to church for a reason.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's not like we're not doing huge events. I'm not kissing a pig every Sunday. We're literally just saying, look,
Hey, we're starting a new sermon series. Hey, we're doing outreach on this Thursday. Hey, we're doing this for the youth. Hey, you know what I'm saying?
we are the most active church, I would say, in Kentucky. For sure in northern Kentucky, I would say all of Kentucky. We're the most active church. And that active church is, we're growing. We're growing, even in the midst of this pandemic. Our numbers are growing, our offering is growing, our programs are growing. We're planning for some significant growth, especially in 2021, while most churches are trying to figure out how to survive.
Yeah.
And I think that says a lot about our church, our leadership, and what God is doing in Fountain.
I do want to point out one thing, because you said that we're active. I think a lot of churches nowadays, they confuse active with busy. There's a difference between being busy and active.
You're
I feel like
exactly
a
right.
lot of churches, they might have stuff going on, but they're busy. It's not because they're actually doing stuff that brings people in, or you're sharing the gospel. They're just doing things that have no real, what am I trying to say?
Like you're just saying,
meaning
like,
behind it.
yeah, like let's just renovate a room
Yeah.
just for the fun of it, to say we're actually being active.
Yeah. And it's like, well, why? What are you gonna, what?
Yeah, like it was fine before, but we're just gonna redo it.
We're just gonna redo it because it makes sense.
Move it. I'm
But it
gonna move this couch from this place over to this side.
We're active.
And
And
when
we're
most of the time I see too, not just being busy and active, but when they are busy, they are busy, but they're focused on just the people that are members of the church, doing stuff that they can like come to, and just like not doing any outreach, which makes no sense if you're a church.
You're exactly right. I know a lot of churches that are busy, right? And they're just doing things, and they're not doing anything for the community. They're not even doing things for people. They're just doing it to say they're doing it.
It becomes a club, not a church.
Oh my goodness. And it's a frustrating thing to see because it's hurting more churches than anything in the world. It's hurting churches, right? Our activity, and we've said this before, I believe episode 10, 12, 14,
I think it was in the single digits, but
everything we do
has a reason.
has a
Purpose.
reason and a purpose. It has an end goal to it. We're not just having the food truck here just because Aiden likes
Believe
pizza,
it or not.
right? Everything has an end goal, right? Because what we're going to be doing on that day, especially because right now nobody's doing anything.
Yeah.
We bring a food truck here. We know it's going to bring people. Because
Yeah.
you don't have to come to church. You can just come from the food truck.
Exactly.
But you can come and you get to sit down on our picnic tables at our church. We get to sit there and say, "Who are you? How are you? How can we help you? How can we get you involved in our church?"
Yeah.
It's one of the greatest just witnessing tools, and it's not costing us a penny.
Nope.
And those are the things you have to understand. So I appreciate our activity, and I know that God's doing some good things with all our activity. Now, here's where it comes in and becomes, here's where churches are getting nervous. We'll just talk about it. Churches are getting nervous because this pandemic is still going on to an extent. Now, ignore the fact that the survival rates are out of the roof. Ignore the fact I see articles all the time that nobody even talks about right now. I see studies and articles where they're saying, I saw one study that said that the amount, when you are tested, when you are a lot of the positive cases, the amount of, what's the thing called, COVID, the amount of coronavirus that is actually in your system is so minute that it can't even spread even if it wanted to.
Yeah.
Because the particles are just little small particles. And so,
Which totally makes sense with people that, like I've heard of people that have it in a family, they live in the same house, but one person has it, the 6 other family members, they don't get it, but they've been in close contact.
so there's a family up here that literally, they just got back from vacation. They were all in a car together for 12 hours. One of them had it, the other ones didn't. You tell me what's going on. But I won't get into all the weird cases like that because I can give you millions of weird cases like that. But you have other studies that say, it doesn't spread on surfaces anymore. Like this just changed.
Yeah.
It doesn't spread on surfaces anymore. I even saw Dr. Fauci say,
I remember that guy.
yeah, you don't see much of him anymore. He was saying how he was interviewing and he was saying, it doesn't spray like an aerosol thing anymore. It's not like a big effect anymore. It's on surfaces. But this is what he said. You need to trust, or you need to live your life like it does. You need to live as if it could happen. Because it could happen. There's a small chance. So we need to live and we need to operate as if it could happen. And so people are and listen, be smart and wise about it, right? This is if you have underlying conditions, right, then you are going to want to be a little more careful, right? But at the same time, anything can kill you at this time. And people are living in so much fear that it's driving me crazy. We've been operating for 5 months. We haven't had a single case connected to our church. God willing, right? God has been blessing us for this. And that's not saying, give us a little bit of credit for the cleanliness, the work that we're doing behind the scenes to make sure it's clean and ready for people. The amount of light that we make sure we have inside the sanctuary. We don't keep it dark for germs to spread. I don't know, does germs spread in light? I thought do they spread?
Are they nocturnal? I don't know.
I'm also not good at science. Math and science is not my strong point.
But anyway, people are like, well,
Or history, or
it's just interesting because the people, most churches are sitting there going, well, one lady said they were upset that nobody was wearing masks inside the church. Or, so then the church goes, oh my goodness, well then we're going to force people to wear them. You have to wear them the whole time because I don't want to upset this one lady. Or yeah, some people will say, I wish you would, I don't feel comfortable sitting so close to people. So the church says, okay, we'll just separate everybody. We'll make sure nobody's even close to anybody. And it's driving people out of the church. It's driving people out of the church. People aren't having Sunday night services or Wednesday night services. We've talked about this before. It makes zero sense when you have less people on Sunday night and Wednesday nights. People aren't doing Sunday school, which doesn't make sense because there's less people during your Sunday school. So I don't know what is happening in the world, but we are being so stupid as a church that people are leaving.
Yeah.
They don't want any part of it. And for us, what we're seeing is the opposite. We're seeing people come to church. They're having a good time. They're enjoying each other. They're sitting there going, it's unbelievable that we can still have church and we can still sing and nobody's, croaking over and dying.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. And the ones that complain, the ones that are complaining are the ones that they don't wear masks themselves when they're here. They don't social distance when they're here. They're the ones that are actually the ones that we're actually concerned about, as far as, following the mandates of Kentucky. But yet they're the ones that leave and they'll be like, well, I just don't think I just can't come back. I'm just not comfortable. Like, well, you look pretty comfortable today without your mask on. So maybe next time put your mask on.
I was actually talking to one of my friends, and she said that she goes to church and she feels like there's just so much distraction that she can't even worship.
Yep.
And she can't even listen to the message, there's just so much distractions. And I think that's such a true statement because we come here and we're always like, well, leave the distractions out of these
100%.
walls. But now we're coming to church and they're putting distractions in people's way of worshiping
Yep.
and listening to a message because there's all these different things that are coming at them. And it's crazy.
It's defeating. It's defeating when you sit there and you have to get your temperature checked.
Yeah.
It's defeating and
or you walk in, you see pews crossed off.
yeah, or taped on the pews where you have to
Tape
sit
on.
'em. You
6
can't
feet
even
apart.
hug the people that are,
You
Sometimes
can't sing.
right
They don't.
next to
Some places
you.
you don't want you to sing. It's defeating. It's heartbreaking. And you're exactly right. It's distractions.
yeah.
And I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. People are smart. People will do what they're comfortable
Yeah.
with. And
But that's the thing, people have done that forever. Flu season comes every year, and people are, some people act a little bit more cautious, some people don't. So just, it's not like this is new. People act the same way.
And church is such a big part of, I think we forget because we have other people in our lives, but I have a neighbor and she lives by herself. She's lived that way for 10 years. Her husband passed away. And she looks forward to going to church, but once her church closed, she started getting depressed. She just started struggling in every aspect of her life. And the church is supposed to be there for you.
For that.
this is what the church has to understand, and the people of the church have to understand more than anything. This virus is not going away, right? This is not just going to disappear one day. It's supposed to only get worse. They're telling me that I saw an article shared by one of our local doctors that said that this thing probably won't get under control until next November 2021, only if people take the vaccine twice by then. So people need the vaccine this fall,
And then once
and they need to take it again next fall, and then it will be under control. None of those are going to happen. Here's the other thing. Nobody's going to take the vaccine except for some of these wimpy people that are really concerned. I'd probably have to edit that out.
But it's true because
I'm not getting the vaccine. I can promise you this.
No.
Here's the reality. I will not get this vaccine. I don't care if it's been tested 1,000 different times. I will not get a COVID-19 vaccine. And so if you're sitting there going, well, I'm not going to go anywhere until everybody gets the vaccine, you don't want to be around me because I promise you I don't care. I don't care if I even get the virus. I'm not getting the vaccine. I don't trust the vaccine. I don't trust what's happening in our government right now. And that's just where I
That's the thing.
stand.
People are putting their hope.
This ain't a political issue.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I ain't doing it.
Well, people put their hope in everything but God, and I think that's what it boils down to. Where people have their hope in finding a virus right now. That's all.
Finding a vaccine.
And guess
I mean,
what?
yeah, it's not finding a virus. We already have one of those.
Unfortunately, you're gonna look back on your life, right? You're gonna look back on this last year, next year, and you're gonna sit there and go, look at all the stuff, look at all the time I wasted, look at all the people I couldn't talk to, look at all the relationships that were broken, look at all the things that I missed at church because I was more concerned about this virus than I was living life. We've stopped living life. And I think our government needs to do more on their end to calm the public. I think real scientists and real doctors need to sit there and actually really put their head together instead of sitting there going,
Give us a new answer.
and changing things all the time. They need to really sit there and go, and here's the thing, that's how science works though, by the way. Like science is testing a theory,
yeah.
right? And so you go, all right, here's what we can test, here's what we can observe, and after those are done, am I right, Dr. Sprout? If I'm not, Jay, tell me. He was my biology teacher.
You told a story about him once. I still don't think this guy exists, but
So Dr. Sprout.
he tells the story of Dr. Sprout, but he's had no ever shown us proof that this
Have
guy
ever changed the story?
Never changed the story though.
It really happened. I'm
Okay.
sitting in class, and I'm sitting by an older gentleman, and a security guard comes in. It was like 5 minutes past 8 o'clock when our class was supposed to start. A security guard comes in and said, Dr. Sprout, stuck in traffic. He's going to be a little bit late, and so all the kids are like, well, the rule is, this is the first day of class, by the way. If you're 15 minutes late, or if the professor isn't there within 15 minutes, you're allowed to leave, and it's an excused
I
absence.
don't know if that's a real rule, by the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. It really
Is it really?
is.
This is coming from the guy that didn't go to college.
Yeah.
So,
I went for a little bit.
so guess what? We waited right at the 14-minute mark. This older gentleman next to me says, I'm sick of waiting. Slams his book down, starts walking towards the front of the classroom. I'm like, what's this guy doing? So then I was about to ready to stand up too, because I'm like, I'm done tired of waiting too. And then he starts writing on the board. Hello, my name is Dr. Sprout. It was the teacher. Weirdest thing I ever saw in my life. Weirdest thing. But he was a crazy guy. He had an owl named Kentucky that was born in Ohio.
An owl?
He would stand up on tables in the morning and get everybody's attention. He was awesome. Anyway, my point is this.
It's too good to be true.
You
I
test
don't believe it.
the theory. When you get more information, that theory can change. I'm okay with all this. I hope that when more information comes out, more testing's being done,
They let us
more
know.
research, they go, yeah, actually, it isn't found on surfaces. It isn't through all this, and it's not this way. And you can, but things start. Then you have to sit there and go, okay, so we need to not be so strict on this, and this, because the information. Our basketball in Kentucky, you can't do a jump ball in the beginning of the game. This is where you literally throw the ball up, and one guy from each team tries to hit the ball. Whoever gets the ball gets the first ball. I mean, that's all it is. They go, you can't do that. You need to flip a coin in order to see who gets the first ball, because it's safer to flip a coin before the game than it is to do a jump ball, which in fact is the first time the ball gets touched.
Yeah.
But then they're like,
And then they're
nah,
gonna be in contact.
then y'all can be in contact, spit all over each other, and rub each other with their sweaty bodies. I don't understand it, but this is the reality that we're living in, and it's frustrating. And so don't be surprised. The world's going to change. There's only one constant thing in this life, and that is God.
Jesus.
So you better start following him, because this world's going to lead you down to a path of destruction.
He's still in
With
control.
God's going to be victorious. Even if I die from a virus, guess what? I got victory waiting for me. Amen?
Amen.
All right. Thank you all for listening to episode 26. Next week we'll be back with episode 27, and hopefully we'll be able to rock and roll for a few weeks before taking another break. Y'all going on vacation anytime soon?
I don't plan on taking a break.
Me
for a while.
neither, buddy.
Finish the year strong.
All right. This is Appreciation.
Hey guys, what's up? We thank you for listening to our podcast today. If you have any questions, you can email us at preachingyoung, no caps, no spaces, @gmail.com. Hope to see you next time.